Hey everybody, welcome to the random game Unshrinking. The game I have here today is called Space Games by Key Punch Software. Now Key Punch was a publisher of budget titles, basically older games that had already been released, some of which were shareware or just freeware distributed through sneakerware and things like that, or over networks. And a lot of times games that didn't have a lot of distribution because they weren't really by some real legitimate company. It was just some guy in his garage or whatnot. And Key Punch picked these up and republished them. So this one here, Space Games, is a compilation of 4 games: Space Trek, Invaders, Alien, and Lunar Landing. And Space Trek, I believe, is a Star Trek type game, which I'll talk about hopefully in a future video. Invaders, I think, is a sort of cheap Space Invaders clone, and you can see a screenshot on the back, which I believe this is the Invaders game. Alien, I believe, is a text adventure, I think, that I played once with the Big Box PC Game Collectors group that had which will one day be the famous meme, "You is dead, buddy." So I'll link to that video. But I think that's what that Alien game is. It's very vague here. It says explore the universe and defend yourself against unforeseen dangers. That could be anything. But I believe it's a text adventure. And then Lunar Landing, I'm assuming, is a Lunar Lander variant, and obviously I covered Lunar Lander in a previous video. So I'm curious to see what's inside here. I just recently picked this up. It's obviously new and sealed. When I first picked this up, I was a little bit puzzled by a couple things. One is that the front here, I don't know if you can see, the IBM Series Entertainment and the Key Punch Software logo are very crisp and clear, but the part that says Space Games and the 4 games listed are sort of blurry. And that was a little bit odd. Usually when I see that, I think something like it's photocopied, or it's a budget release of something, or maybe a counterfeit item or something like that. The shrink wrap also is it has some bunching up on the sides. You can see over here the corners, the back here. There's no like really characteristic signs in its original shrink wrap. And then the weirdest thing was that if you look on the bottom here, it says it's copyright Key Punch Software 1993. Actually, that was unusual by itself because on Moby Games it says this compilation came out in 1986 or so. And then I also noticed that it says on the side here that it's 5¼ inch disc for IBM, and it's really odd for a 5¼ inch disc release to come out in 1993. So I was a little bit suspicious of what this is. I did a little bit of research, and honestly the research was hard to do because Space Games is a pretty generic title, and actually Key Punch published other compilations called Space Games for other platforms that had completely different games inside of them. So it's a little bit difficult to do that. But what I believe happened here is there was actually another version of this game published around 1986 or so in a smaller box about this height. And I've had some other Key Punch games that have come in that type of box, let's say around this high. And I think what happened was in 1993, which is basically right before these guys went bankrupt and shut down, they republished this in this larger box, and basically they photocopied the original one, and that's why it looks blurry on the front here. I believe that explains pretty much everything, except why would they use 5¼ inch disc still, unless it's actually an original disc left over from 1986. So I'm curious what's inside here. Other than the disc, though, I really expect nothing else inside because it's very light. When I move it up around, it's just basically, it sounds like a floppy disk. I'd be surprised if there's even a manual in there. But let's open it up and find out. And just, by the way, just one more thing before I do that. You can see it says here, programmers, school teachers, students, and midnight hackers, we would like to publish your library of products. Prizes for best submissions in addition to general compensation to suit your situation. Write or send product to, and then Key Punch Software. So basically, this is how they made their money. Either people actually sent them games or they just found them and took advantage of them some other way. I'm not sure. I don't really know too much about the company. Anyway, let's open this up. Because it looks like it opens at the top here, I'd use a knife and just try to cut it this way I can leave the shrink wrap on. The box is not being damaged right now by the shrinks. There's no point in taking the whole thing off. But I do want to get it open. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. Nice clean cut there. And then I have to cut the sides. Might be a little more difficult. Okay, that got there. This one here, okay. Now, if I could just cut these little tabs. Without cutting my fingers open, that's usually my weakness. I didn't do a good job with that. Let's see if I can just get it open. All right, there we go. What's inside? Okay, as I predicted, it's nothing but a floppy disk. Oh, whoa. Is there even a sleeve? Wow, there's not even a sleeve. I've never seen something so cheap in my life. So what is this here? It's one of these things where they put a disc label on top of another label. It says Space Games, Space Trek, Invaders, Alien Lunar Landing, to load Brute DOS, whatever. But I don't know if you can see it there in the video though, but it looks like they put it on top of another disc that says Education Media Pack Volume 2. And there's some logo on the right side of the bottom that I can't even read. I have no idea what that says. So basically, it's not even an original disc. They repurposed some disc for this. They didn't even bother to put a disc sleeve. I don't think I've ever seen a 5 1/4-inch disc without a disc sleeve. The right Protect tab hole here is like mostly covered by the label. This is like one of the cheapest things I've ever seen. So actually, normally I really don't like budget re-releases. I try not to have them in my collection. In this case, I already bought this, already opened it, obviously. If I can find an original copy from 1986, I'd prefer that. In the meantime, I'll hold on to this one. But anyway, I'll try to find some footage, at least of the some of the games in this compilation, to show you guys in the video. And hope that Alien game actually is what I think it is, because that was a huge amount of fun. But most likely, I'll save the Space Trek for another video. I'll just put up some footage of Invaders, Lunar Landing, and possibly Alien, or I'll just link to the other video we did previously. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Really not much here, but any physical release is better than nothing, in my opinion. If you like this, please like, subscribe, share, etc. And have a great day, everybody.